Yet on another episode of Let Kids Play podcast. Today, we're going to go into our series of how to homeschool your little ones. So, I have my notes, of course, just to, help me remember. But we're going to talk about 3 reasons. Well, I'm going to give you 3 reasons that we should homeschool. And then we're going to talk about some concerns about homeschooling. We're going to talk about why you're the best person to teach your child. And then I'm going to, of course, our activity assignment won't be geared towards your little one. It'll be geared towards you. So make sure you stay tuned to the end to figure out what your homework is for this episode. So let's get into it. So the benefits, the first thing we're going to talk about is the benefits of the homeschooling and the reasons that you should homeschool under 5. I highly recommend it. I didn't do it with my oldest. He was in and out of daycare and preschool because I was still working. So he was only homeschooled from 4 to 5. While my other two, my now 6-year-old and my now 4-year-old, they've both been at home with me. So my daughter did go to preschool in person, but it was a play-based preschool, and there was only 8 kids in her class. So that's the exception. If it's like a small number, not 15, 20 kids in one class for preschool, that's very overwhelming. And then my little one, since my daughter was at preschool, he went to the same school, Learning Center, for 2 hours for 1 or 2 days a week, just to get him, get him unattached from mommy, so to speak. But it was helpful, and I also ended up working at that preschool. So yeah. So out of the whole 4 years for my little one, he's been in school maybe 6 months, and then my 6-year-old, she went to pre-K for the whole year. And like I said, it was a small, close-knit school, maybe 50 kids in the entire school. So the Learning Center school. But yes, that's probably the only thing I would recommend. Everything else is just overwhelming for them. But so the benefits of homeschooling and why you should homeschool if possible. Like I said, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I put both when my middle child was in preschool. I was like, well, you know what? I'm here anyway. I might as well enroll him and get two. So I thought 2 hours to myself, but we know it really turned out by the time I got home, sat down, it was time to fix snack and run back out the door to pick him up. So that's neither here nor there. Let's get into it. So the developmental benefits of you being able to teach your child, being the number one teacher for your child and the best person to teach your child, is because you get to learn the ins and out of how your child thinks, how your child creates, how your child works, like their emotions. You know the ins and outs of your child, not only as a mother, but you learn to notice things and observe things as you become a teacher and as they get older. Like like your child probably prefers like this on the right side versus the left side and things like that, and why they prefer that. So those are the joys of homeschooling your little ones under 5, and the developmental benefits as far as you can really give them that one-on-one time to work with them. Like some classes, some preschools, they do like the arts and crafts, and everyone's looks the same, while you get the chance to see what your child creates on their own, and they get to think outside the box, and they're not limited on what they can do, and they don't have a lot of restrictions. Because honestly, a child under 5 should not be sitting down in a desk for a long period of time. They actually should not be doing focus work and worksheets for a long period of time. Like, imagine your 4 or 5-year-old asking to go to the bathroom and stuff like that, and someone not believing them. So you have that one-on-one time to develop them, in a small setting. Even if you have 2, 3, 4 kids, you also have that time to develop their communication skills, to let the adult that will ultimately take your place as their teacher, they are able to communicate to them. They are able to express their needs, their feelings. They're able to understand their emotions. It's just so many benefits of homeschooling and giving your little ones that personalized one-on-one attention. And then going into the second thing, personalized attention means personalized curriculum, so you can really gear what you all are learning, like your alphabets, your letter sounds, to the things that your kids like. So my little one, he loves any vehicles: airplanes, trucks, cranes, dump trucks, garbage trucks, anything that moves. He loves it. So a lot of our lessons are geared towards those things. And then my daughter loves animals. I'm homeschooling my first grader right now. So she loves animals. So we do a lot of lessons and activities around animals and around the vehicles, but we're still working on those core things that we need to learn to help them meet different goals. As far as, like, he's 4, so he won't even, and his birthday is after September 1st, so he won't even go to pre-K next year. He has 2 years before kindergarten, so he has 2 years before he even goes to kindergarten, and he's already like at a kindergarten level kind of. So we just work on things, and that's the benefit of the personalized curriculum. You can go with them versus, like, having to stay at a certain level because they can't move too fast. Like, the world is a classroom, and that is the best classroom to be in. We don't do, like, the room that I'm recording in is also a homeschooling room. I just have a corner of it for this podcast, but we hardly ever actually stay in this room 5 days a week. Well, really 4 days a week, because we only do homeschooling 4 days a week. Like, we're really out in the world exploring, doing things. Like, for winter, we studied the South Pole and Antarctica. So a lot of things we talked about with Antarctica. We made fake snow. We learned there's pink and orange snow because of the algae that's in Antarctica and stuff like that. So it was just a whole fun thing, and it's something that you usually don't, get to talk about when you're in school. Like, everyone focuses on the North Pole, while we talked about the South Pole, and then people not understanding that you can introduce geography at the pre-K and toddler level. Some schools don't even introduce it in kindergarten. So that's the benefit of having a personalized curriculum. And you can personalize it, tailor it to whatever you decide, and you don't necessarily have to have a curriculum, because I don't necessarily use a curriculum. We pick whatever we want to talk about for the month. So, like, they may say, let's talk about something cold with the snow. So that's how we came up with the South Pole and Antarctica. So we learned about animals that don't live in Antarctica. We learned about how the snow has been there forever because it never melts. We learned about the seasons in Antarctica. So it's just so much that you can do and learn outside of a book curriculum and outside of worksheets when you're homeschooling. And then one of the things that are also a concern, but I also feel it's a benefit, and that is your child being able to be free, so to speak. So in the classroom, they're in that classroom. They don't switch classes. They don't switch teachers, and they're in that room for 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours. That's hard for them. That's hard for us as adults. So the concern for some is that, oh, you need to teach your little ones how to sit still. Well, they're only supposed to sit still for 15 to 20 minutes at this age and this stage. So having them sit still for 30 minutes to an hour pushes them past where they're supposed to be for their age range, and also that creates behavior issues. So that's why I say it's a plus, because you tend to not see those behavior issues when you're homeschooling, because you're not making them like sit down at a desk. Like, we don't even have this for our homeschool. We have our cozy corner with pillows. We have these I wish I could show you my little one over here, because he's in here with me in the corner. He's in like this like rocking floor seat or whatever. So they have the flexibility um to be free and know what they like and don't like. So they don't really like desk. So they why yes, we're homeschooling, and yes, you're supposed to teach them how to sit down, but we can sit down on the floor. We can sit in like the rocking floor chairs that he's in right now. We don't have to conform to school just because you're homeschooling. So that's the last benefit that I want to mention. All right. So, I also want to talk about, I said, the concerns. So make sure that you understand that you don't have to create a homeschool classroom. You don't have to create a school, depending on your state. Like for the state of North Carolina, because that's where we're located, we did have to register with the state. But I let the kids know our world is our classroom. So when we travel, we're learning stuff. When we're running errands, going to the grocery store, all of this is school. Okay? So that's just how we do it. So don't overwhelm yourself with trying to find a particular curriculum, because you're going to go through a ton of curriculums, a ton of different books. Ta-da! I don't know if you all can see them behind me, but you're going to go through so many lessons. Just go with whatever works for you and your household and you and your child. Also, let me know if you all would like to see me review some curriculums, because I talk about a lot of play-based stuff. And I do look at some curriculums, but I don't necessarily use it. I look at it and then I make it hands-on and play-based. And then I also look at like the state standards and stuff like that, because again, in North Carolina, not only do we have to register for homeschooling if they're 7 years or older, so first grade and up, they have to take a standardized test every year. So I do go by the state standards and goals. I just don't do the same work that they do. So like if my daughter needs to learn 200 of the sight words, I'm not having a sight word test, a sight word test on Fridays. We're not doing that. But does she know her sight words? Yeah, she does. Like, I'm out of words to give her. Like, so those are some things I will say you can overcome. Those may seem like challenges, but there are ways to overcome them. And just don't get overwhelmed. Understand that you can be flexible in your schedule. It's your school. Create your schedule and your routine that works for you. If you're alternating with your spouse and significant other, or if grandma or granddad is doing homeschooling while you work, like, make it work for you. It's flexible. You are the principal, director. Do what works for you. All right, so activity assignments. You have homework, of course. So, I will say create a dedicated learning space. So we have a small little corner because we're learning Spanish. So I do put there, looking at it as I'm telling you all. So I do put there, we have one big project that we do every month. So the project that we finished the month prior is on the wall. We do have a calendar where we have the dates, the weather, the season, and the month. And then we do have our greeting because we're learning Spanish. So we have our greeting on the wall in Spanish where it says, "Hi, how are you? What's your name?" And then we have our scientific method on the wall. And then we have our cause and effect. So if this happened, then this happens. And those are visuals that I just have to help my 4-year-old understand. Like, if you hit, then this happens. You know, someone's upset, you've hurt someone's feelings, and all those things. If you throw something, then this happens. So I just have those visuals on the wall to kind of help him get through those things. So that's one corner. And then we have on the door, on the back of the door, I have a ton of arts and crafts hanging out, different supplies. I have their aprons. Then I have a birthday wall. And then we have 2 maps. We have a world map, a U.S. map, And then we have a shelf right here that has a ton of different manipulatives that we use and puzzles. So this side over here is where they can just come and grab whatever they want to learn. But lately, for the last month, we haven't been in here. We'll come in here so they can just see, because it's easier for them to learn when they see it. We'll come in here and they'll move the little pencil down to whatever day it is. They'll look out the window, open the window, see how the weather is, and then we'll look at what the number for the date is in the month, and then we're probably out of here. Downstairs, we have like a centers, so to speak, but it's like a free range play area for them as well. So there is a house down there. There's a store, a kitchen, a grill, a mechanic shop. So they have all of that in the area where they can just freely go and roam and play. The only thing that we kind of keep structure in the same is our morning bands. We do have morning bands, and they're also manipulatives. Like, we do a lot of hands-on things. So they're the wooden blocks, paper rolls, brick buildings, and plastic cups, and they're against the windowsill, and they can just come and grab those as well. So it's a lot of free reign, but there's still a lot of learning going on as well. So and we have a library in our house. So when you come up the steps, they have their own dedicated space of books where they can grab their books and read. That's their library in our house. That was even before we were homeschooling. So that's the thing that I challenge you to do. It's two things. Create a dedicated learning space where your kids can come and grab something and be creative, and that's their space. So like, if they do waste like paint or Play-Doh, slime, whatever you have, or they make a mess, that's their dedicated little space, giving them a corner in your house outside of their room for them to go and just be creative and learn. So it probably should be a dedicated creative space. But I call it a dedicated learning space. And then the second thing is you should have a library in your house. So my library is not big at all. It's not even big as this shelf. It's a mini shelf that I got from Target for $20 or $30. And then it has their books on there. We still go to the library, but those are just some of their favorite books that are on there. So you can go to different stores, like even Dollar Tree, to get some books. Target will have some books in their dollar area. Walmart. What else? Ollie's. I don't know if you all have that, but Ollie's used to be a good place to get books. And some of the outlets have bookstores where you can get books for cheaper prices, like $1.50. Just build your library so that they know it fosters a learning environment. It shows them that learning is fun, reading is good, like that you love to read. You pick up a book so that they see. So outside of the library, I have a bookshelf up here, and then we have a bookshelf down in the living room. So the bookshelf up here is just like the play-based books and things on, all dedicated to how kids learn and doing activities. Their bookshelf is their books, and then downstairs is a bookshelf of books me and my husband love, because my husband loves to read as well. He reads on his tablet. I have to fill the book. So however your little ones read, create a dedicated learning space and create a library. Even if your library, some people may be against this, but I don't care. I just want your kids to read. Even if your library includes the TV reading to them. So that's what I have for you. So to recap a little bit on why you should homeschool under 5, and the benefits of homeschooling under 5 is the developmental benefits, that one-on-one time, personalized curriculums, that personalized, dedicated, and one-on-one time with them. You're bonding. And you also can address different concerns. You have less behavior issues, small, intimate setting, just all of those things. And then your homework is to create a dedicated learning space and a library. So make sure you comment below letting me know if you would love for me to review some curriculums and give my thoughts and activities on what I would do with those different curriculums. And until next time, it's Nayetta, and I can't wait for you to join me. Wait. So if you love this information that I provide to you on this channel, please, please, please support me and us and the team, which is my kids and my family, by leaving a review, liking, sharing. That means so much to us because I take time out to do this, and I enjoy sharing how I teach my kids at home with you all. I love sharing, giving you all ideas on how to just let your kids play. So I truly, truly appreciate it if you all could leave me a review wherever you listen, a like if you're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, leave me 5 stars. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. 20 minutes. Not bad.